You're watching F5. We are here at AppWorld 2025 in Singapore. I'm joined by Sergiu. Sergiu, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm the organizer of DevOpsDays Singapore. I'm also ex-Red Hatter and ex-Standard Chartered.
Fantastic, very cool. You actually shared with me that you were at Pivotal as well, one of the first employees in this region?
Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago where we saw the cloud and container wars. What an exciting time.
Yeah, container wars, that's an interesting way to put it as well. So some competing technologies around that time. And obviously Pivotal went on to do or get acquired by VMware and become a part of Tanzu, I believe, or became Tanzu.
Yeah, now it's Broadcom.
Yeah, moved on to many different things. Very cool. So as part of your view into ASEAN and Singapore in particular with DevOps Days, I would love to get from you what you're seeing as far as the landscape.
Yeah, so we had DevOps Days Singapore on 14th and 15th of May in Stephen Radi Auditorium. We had technologists, we had DevOps, we had new data scientists, AI, and it was quite interesting to see the evolution of practices. One of those practices is CALMS, which stands for Culture, Automation, Lean, Measurement and Sharing. And this year we are thinking to replace A for AI because we see so many AI-driven tools that are included in the workflow, are helping build the product, launch the product, monetize the product, and give you a full feedback loop.
Very interesting. As part of that, what are you seeing in terms of like architecture when it comes to AI? Because I think there's a few different things that are happening, whether it's kind of legacy approaches to maybe network-based approach and looking at network flows, and then there's also the approach of integration into applications and thinking of it more from a higher level perspective. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, coming back to the microservices which helped start like the cloud native applications, if you now look at the MCP, it's a very interesting standard. I see a lot more businesses adopting and building solutions, reusing it. At our DevOps Days, we had workshops and discussions around like what the future would look like with these new AI architectures and like how you can integrate ecosystem, different parts of your business, be it like get a notification, get a logistics, a last mile delivery, how you build online banking, what used to be taking months if not years now can be built in days and weeks with a ground up solution, with a smaller team, with a complete revamp of the architecture, all using AI, from the coding to the deployment and then the AI ops, which for many years used to be growing. I think now we're seeing a peak in AI ops that is showing the results. And I would also note on the data and modeling aspect, many years ago we had concepts like big data, and data scientist was the sexiest job on the market. Yeah. Now, what if the data scientist could be an agent? A lot of the data can be analyzed and summarized by AI, which makes much easier for non-tech savvy people to get insights, have a faster feedback loop on building the applications, and then reincorporating new features into their product.
That's interesting. Do you think a lot more, where do you think the state is as far as like data structures then? Like or do we have to be a lot more careful when it comes to taking in data, grabbing the relevant metadata tags and labels and so on?
Yeah, I think AI governance is definitely important. I think from a regulation, it's very busy topic. You have ethics, what can be reused, what is an asset. We actually had a very interesting conversation in our open spaces. What is an asset? It used to be binary, then it became the source code. Now we're looking at prompt, and then it's very hard to actually secure prompts and then all this natural language. So I think we will see in the next few years a growth in terms of libraries and templates, how to build a various application that somebody with a non-tech background can get started very quickly.
That is very interesting, thinking of a prompt as an asset, because to me I think of a prompt almost as like a natural language demonstration of business logic. So that makes a lot of sense actually. Like if my business is based on how I perform certain actions in a certain way using certain data, and that's expressed through a prompt, then yeah, that's very much a very valuable asset at that point.
Yeah, and the Calms framework was at the cornerstone of a lot of DevOps transformations. And I think now, if you're looking from a DevOps aspect, it will help enable and grow the AI adoption in the enterprises, as well as the new AI born in the cloud startups and companies, because the asset is important, securing and making sure it's not abused, stolen. It's a very important aspect, along with what kind of skills do you need? How will your tech department look in the next 2 years? I can assure you that it's going to be looking very different from last 5 years or 10 years, like similar like how we've seen in the containers, how it changed the IT department, where there were like database team, middleware team, a network team. Now you'll see a condensation, and then it's going to be very interesting to see the level 2 and level 3 support, how it morphs and what it changes from an AI aspect, because there's no need anymore for a lot of translations that were happening in the world of IT. Business can go and do the prompt directly and then use IT to review and the architecture, the security, and maybe have a few specialists that are helping with scaling, resiliency and availability. But yeah, I think it's a huge change, and I think it's important for teams to adopt, and especially enterprises to look forward for the next 2-3 years trends.
That is a great thought as well. I never really thought about how this affects layer or level 1-2 support, who's normally there to look at tool configuration or using this properly and whatnot. If the tool is more or less the prompt at that point, are you hitting the semantics to express what you're trying to do? That's, a great thought. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. Last question for you. When it comes to people needing to transition skills, things are changing going forward, and you've listed off a number of things that if people aren't thinking about it now, they need to start thinking about how they adjust their knowledge set to adapt to this future world. What do you recommend?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the themes of DevOps Days over the years, when we had 2015 about Calms and the principles, then we had infrastructure as code, then compliance as code, everything as code. And now with DevOps meets AI, the whole concept of what is code is changing. Like I mentioned earlier, is it the prompt, is it the natural language? Then you no longer need just coders, right? It will be more getting back into the business and understanding the domain and building the application ground up in terms of how it serves our customers, what the customers need, and how we can leverage the ecosystem. So I see a lot more applications being built in the next few years, a lot more people getting tech savvy and efficient in using AI-driven tools, and then also the operations aspect changing completely, where scaling is going to be more efficient and at the same time capture larger market share.
Maybe we'll see a day where it's infrastructure as vibes. That is my level of AI at this point. AI coding is vibe based. Awesome. Great insights, Sergiu. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Thank you for checking out this video. Make sure you follow along. I'll be at App World capturing some of this great conversations with folks, and also at Solutions Day in Indonesia as well. So make sure you follow, like, subscribe. Otherwise, we'll leave some links for following Sergiu and DevOps Days here as well. So make sure you follow along with that. Otherwise, thank you very much, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, folks.
Thank you.